What's up, y'all? Let's talk. Now, before we get into today's conversation about what I can't say, y'all gotta say it because YouTube said I can't say it in the first 30 seconds. Let me hear y'all say it. These what? Let me take a minute to welcome you back to my channel. And if you're new here, I need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Y'all know where it's at. It's not a real button. It's the word subscribe. It's written in red, okay? It's right below the screen. We'll put it right here. All right? Now, if you're returning, I know you're going to like it. I know you're going to like it. Why? Because it's me. And I have a very special guest. Oh, he's special. So just go ahead and hit like. I promise y'all. He's special. Now, if you follow me on all my social media platforms at Around the Table with Joy on Instagram and Facebook, you probably heard me say that greatness come out of the what?
St. Bernard.
Okay. If you don't know, now you know. I'm a real 7-wall hardhead, all right? And so is he. Y'all take a minute and welcome my very dear friend, my oldest friend in the whole wide world. Let him tell it. Cornell, Barbain, to the show.
I appreciate being here. It's definitely an honor. We talked about doing this a couple of times. And
For 2 years.
yeah.
It's been 2 years.
It's been a while, but I think the biggest part is that we've done it. We've finally got together, and now we're going to do something special.
We made it. We made it. So if you're wondering why he's here and what he has to offer to the platform, because y'all know this conversation is like all conversation, and it's about relationships, right? So he has a very, very special expertise in the manufacturing, the building, and the maintaining of relationships with your money.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So what's your title exactly?
I look at myself as a financial consultant.
Consultants make a lot of money. You got all the money.
No, I don't have all the money, but I do know some different ways for other people to make some of the money.
Okay, we're going to get into that.
Okay.
So we're going to get into that. We are also going to get into how a good financial mindset is imperative to all of your relationships. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't want no broke nigga. And the people say that men don't want broke women.
That is correct.
That's what the people say. So we're going to get into all that. Let me give y'all a minute. Y'all, listen, buckle up, okay? Buckle up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. We're about to break it down in the 1, 2. What credentials is required to become a financial consultant? Or what was your climb to becoming a financial consultant?
Great question. So for me, it all started with first becoming an insurance producer.
Mm-hmm.
So in becoming an insurance producer, what happens is you have to learn about a lot of financial topics, right? And then once you learn those topics, then you can start to solicit insurance and help people obviously insure their lives, because unfortunately we have a lot more people who value material things than their lives. So that's something that we definitely need to do better at.
Okay. So you're helping people come out of that GoFundMe culture.
Correct.
Do you still offer that product inside of the services that you teach people on how to acquire?
GoFundMe?
No, insurance.
Oh, insurance, absolutely. So insurance is the backbone to becoming financially independent. And a lot of people, they don't understand the dynamic because nobody's ever really educated them about insurance. And
Really?
yeah, that's true. Just think about it. I know for myself, remember an insurance guy coming in the project, and my grandmother be all excited to pay him about 80 to 100 bucks for all of our policies. And when she died, unfortunately, she didn't even have $5,000.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened to it? Separate conversation. Shout out to Big Jean. Big Jean was the best insurance lady ever. You remember Big Jean?
I do.
Hey, cousin Keisha. Y'all gonna die.
Yes,
And guess what? There's a bag for you. I bought them last week. That's a bag for your ass. So you need to prepare because you're gonna leave here.
yeah.
You're gonna leave here. And if you live good, you're gonna leave people behind that you love. That's a blessing. I want to put that out there. I don't want that to sound like a morbid statement, right? But if you lived a good life and you did everything that God called you to do, you're gonna leave people behind that you love. So you want to leave them in the best possible situation. You want to leave. I live my life like this, and my children can tell you, right? I want to leave a lasting impact, a positive impact on every person that I meet. There is value to add in every situation. Imagine not leaving such an impact to your family after you. Imagine that just breaks my heart when I hear, like, you hear stories like that, because you're living your whole life, you're working, you're trying to do what's right. What are you doing it for?
And that's the thing. I think we live in a selfish society, and I think, I'm gonna just be honest, Joy, it stemmed from our moms, our parents, and they didn't really understand financial literacy, so they couldn't help us and teach us financial literacy. And what I heard a lot was, there's no reason for me to leave you a lot of wealth, because I didn't have a lot of wealth when I grew up. So to me, that was something that I always felt bad about, because just thinking about that, a lot of our people in our age range, they feel the same way.
You old now. You older than me.
A little bit.
Okay.
Not that much.
Don't be calling me old.
Yeah, but they feel the same way, because I've talked to some relatives and different friends and people, and they're like, why would I want to leave my kids a large amount of money? I didn't have that type of money. So whatever they're going to get, they should be able to make their own way.
Make it on their own.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not fair. That's so unfair.
Yeah, but that's how a lot of people feel, and that's why they don't want to really have those conversations about financial planning, because now that's going to open up a different understanding of money, and they don't really want to entertain that.
First of all, I'm leaving my kids something. Now listen, don't give Isaiah all the money, because he's gonna smoke it up. Smokey gonna smoke it up. Smokey gonna smoke half of it and then invest in the alpaca farm. Today, when you go out, because you travel,
Correct.
So you travel and you are talking to different ethnicities, different age groups, people in different social economic classes.
Correct.
What do you find is the most common need when setting people on a course of financial wellness?
I think the biggest thing is cash flow. Because a lot of times when you're employed, and most people, they only have one stream of income. So when you only have one stream of income and you're employed, it's kind of difficult to manage that income, because you have a lot of expenses. And when you have a lot of expenses, then obviously you have more bills than money.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's the toughest thing for a lot of people, is to overcome, how do I keep more of my money while paying a lot of expenses? So that's what we sit down and we make sure that they develop a different mindset about their money.
Stop telling me to stop Lyft driving. Stop it. I need everything to make money. And until y'all start paying me for pictures of my feet on the internet, I'm going to keep living. Tell people to start.
The first thing we do is we do a financial analysis.
Okay, what you look at? What you look at when you do the people financial
So
analysis?
we break down everything. We break down your money. It's like a physical
You
examination.
give people a pap smear?
It's sort of similar. And it's very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
But once again, it's something that once you are introduced to your analysis, you want to do it yearly.
Right.
So because now you're aware, and now you're more conscious of how you spend money, and also where your money is going.
Right. Oh, I have something to show you. Oh, it's not a pap smear. Don't worry. I think that people are more comfortable sharing their sexual history than they are their financial history.
I wouldn't say that. I think they're compatible. I think
They're right up there.
Yep.
They're
I
neck
think
and
they're
neck.
neck and neck, because the more comfortable you are with a person, I think you're more open to sharing more intimate things, whether it be sexually or financially.
Really?
Yeah.
Financial wellness and how we think about money and our relationship with money is really parallel to our personal and interpersonal relationships.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So I think that's a big conversation as we're talking about community building, because we cannot build community, believe it or not, without money.
That's correct.
And then we can't build community with people who have bad money habits, because bad money habits break families.
That's correct.
They break families.
That's correct.
You know, so we want to make sure that we're doing better across the board about this money. I was having a conversation with somebody and they were talking about abuse and how difficult it is to overcome when you've been an abused person. You know, there are some people that's suffering right now from financial abuse.
Correct. Yeah, I'm one of them.
Are you?
Yeah, I think a lot of us are, just subconsciously, we just never really had a real deep conversation about it because we're so used to being impoverished, right? And just get it out the mud, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So we just feel as if us being able to make something out of nothing is just something natural. But in contrast, a lot of different other ethnicities, they have wealth building practices. So their parents are relative to leaving them money, that at least they have something to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
By contrast, we are pulling something out the mud, making something from nothing. So that's why we go into a lot of different criminal activities, because we're just trying to compensate of what we didn't have. And that's something that's not talked about a lot, because they don't want to put a stigma on us to say that, hey, you guys don't want to have the discipline. You don't want to really go through the financial planning processes to become wealthy, and that's still not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
We have to start helping our kids, right? So I'm a tough mom. I think I'm a tough mom, but I don't think that I am an abusive mom in that way. So I know people by way of my kids, not people that I think I grew up with, who had friends who had to leave at 18. Or you graduate, you gotta go. They're out on the street with nothing. You know what it ended up? In my house, but that's another conversation. But we have to stop doing that to our kids. We have to set them up for some level of success to the best of our ability.
Correct.
And in order to do that, then we need to be well.
Correct.
We need to be well.
And I think that first starts with having independent living skills. And that's something.
Ooh, say it again.
Independent living skills. And it's so important, Joy, because when I left the teaching profession, that was my main purpose.
Add that on that. Teacher. Go ahead.
Yep. So for me, I've been a teacher since 1998,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I always wanted to have a greater impact than just helping kids work their way through school and graduate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I always looked at what's going to be the end goal. So they're going to graduate from school, and what are they going to do after they graduate,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because schools, let's just be honest, I'm going to just tell you guys, if you don't know, their job is just to get your kids in school and out of school as quick as possible. That's the main focus. So when you see a lot of programs in schools, that's why they don't teach about financial literacy. Because there's no conscious of what they're going to do after school, because realistically they want them to go to school again, which is college, right? So you see where the dynamic just keeps growing and growing, because at first just having a high school diploma would be plausible where you could earn a living and be comfortable.
Yeah.
But now you almost have to have a master's degree or a doctorate degree.
Almost.
Right?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's so unfortunate. So for me, I wanted to make an impact and help kids learn how to be independent. And a lot of that comes from not only understanding how money works, but understanding their life skills as well, right? How to be independent, what that looks like, what that feels like, how to pay bills, right? How to manage your money in other facets, and not only that, but how to manage your relationships.
Yeah.
How to be social, because our kids, let's be honest, they don't have any social skills. Because the computers have really taken over, and now if it's not the video games, it's the phone. And it's kind of hard to teach these social skills if you're on the phone or if you're on the video game.
Most people that watch this channel, they're single moms or they're new families. People that have, people on their second run of life. Like, shout out to all my divorced people out there on their second run of life. They're new families, right? So, my first question is, in a new relationship, when do you start discussing money and finances?
Man, I think immediately, because you wouldn't think about it. Like you said, yeah, I think we talked about that from a sexual standpoint or romantic standpoint. You wouldn't want to know that your partner had been careless or irresponsible prior to you, and now
It's
you don't
affecting
have,
you.
right, it is affecting your relationship and everything. So for me, I feel the same way with finances, right? That's something huge. As we know, divorces really are financial problems. Let's just be honest. I've been through 2 divorces, so I can speak about it. I've split half twice, so I know how that feels. Yeah, I know.
That's
how
your
that
little
feels.
phrase. You be saying, I split half twice.
Yes.
2 times 2 equals 4.
And live to talk about it, and I think.
And you didn't die.
I didn't die.
You recovered.
I recovered,
Okay.
and not only recovered, but with the ability to help other people know that it's okay. Because a lot of people see marriages that have failed as you're a failure personally.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, and I don't.
And that's why people stay in unhealthy marriages. Did I get loud? Did I start screaming? That's why. That's why people stay in unhealthy marriages, because they feel like if they pull the trigger and say this no longer serves me, it makes them a failure.
Correct.
That's not the case.
Correct.
That's not the case.
Correct. But our society has made them feel that way, right? Because let's be honest, when you're around your certain peers or co-workers, when you say you're the only one that's not married, that has a certain stigma. It has a certain feeling. Let's just be honest, right? It has a certain feeling, and it just makes you feel like, well, man, what I did in my life, that everybody here is happy, they're married. I see them on social media living their best life. But for me, I'm still out here in this world that, I mean, I don't know, everybody who's single, if you know, this is not the climate that you want to be in. Let's just be honest.
It's a little piss in the dating pool. It's a little pissy. It is more pissier, depending on where you're looking. It's a little pissy out here because of all of the fake news and all of what we see on Instagrams and all that kind of stuff. And it really affects people's mental health. Like, people are really trying to achieve this level of greatness that doesn't exist.
Correct.
Everybody's trying to become what that man say y'all like so much. What kind of man? High value.
High value.
Yeah. But what happens when you can't become the high value man? You think that affect people's mental health?
I do. I think the pressures that society puts on not just men but women in both. I think it makes women feel like, for example, their $50, $100 bag is not comparable to the Gucci bag or the Louis bag, right? So now they're doing things that they probably wouldn't do.
What they doing?
I don't know. I don't want to speak on that. But
because I'm trying to go do it. No.
It puts them in different positions that I don't think are favorable. And I think for men, it's the same thing, because now women, by them making more money, the standards have risen. So if you can't afford to take them out on a nice dinner, you can't afford to take them out on a nice cruise or a nice time out, that's going to be looked down upon. And now you shrink your dating pool. And I think that's what Kevin Samuels was talking about, because what you have is a lot of people dating outside their dating pool. Because if you are a 6-figure earner, then it makes sense to go out and try to get someone who makes 6 figures as well. You're compatible. But for a lot of people, unfortunately, they want to date up, right? And nothing is wrong with that if you have the ability, but in a lot of instances, you really shouldn't be dating up, because sometimes what's not talked about is the things that go along with dating up. So now you become a side piece, right? Or you become insignificant other. And
because Floyd Mayweather said he doesn't want to be in no type of committed relationship. He have girlfriends and he treat them all the same. He got a room with all the bags in it, and they just go in there and pick a bag. He bring them all on vacation. He bring them,
So that's what I'm saying. So think about that. Back to the mental health part.
That really messes up your mental.
Right. Why would you want to engage in that type of relationship when there's so many other partners or potential partners out there that you can be compatible with, but you're going to reduce yourself because you want to fit into this small bucket of, I guess, influences that I don't know is to your benefit. Let's just say that. And for me, the mental health part is just so significant because we see a lot of people watching social media, Joy,
and it affects their mental health.
What they see, they don't realize is not real, right? And that's the part that bothers me because a lot of times it's just put on social media to get a reaction.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's the concept that we should now understand that, oh, this is a shock value, right?
Yes.
So I don't understand why you would not be able to compartmentalize that appropriately because we know this is what your objective is, right? So why would I stop constantly being engaged into the same shock value when I already know this is not real?
I agree with you wholeheartedly, 100%. That's why these conversations are so important, guys. I know we're a little channel compared to all the other channels that you watch, but if you don't do anything else this week, take some time and pull out the gems that's been shared on this video. It is so, so, so important. We can't heal our community if we don't first heal ourselves. We can't have good relationships if we're not having good relationships with the things that sustain us. And unfortunately, that requires money. It does. We live in a capitalistic society, and although money does not make you happy, it surely helps you get through some tough things from a much comfortable situation. You don't need a lot of it. You don't need a lot. You just need to be able to catch the people that you love when they fall. That was one of my big things. And you need to be able to take care of your family, yourself, and your loved ones. So I want y'all to take all the good things from this video. And before we go, if you had to leave the people with one gem, what would it be?
I think the one gem that I would say is to get a money mentality, a money mindset. Because if you adopt a money mindset or money mentality, then now you're going to encounter more opportunities to gain money. And I think once that happens, now you can start to really educate yourself. Okay, now that I have more money coming in, now I can do some different things, whether it be saving, investing, or whatever the case may be. But you'll be in a way better mental space, I think, financially.
And have a realistic mindset.
Correct.
All right. Y'all got it. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit like. Okay? Watch this video. Spend some time here. Pull out what you need. Throw away the rest. Okay? And put in the comments any questions that you may have for me or for Cornell. He's always in the comments, y'all. He watched the channel. He be in there. So put your questions in there, and we'll make sure that we keep in contact with you, and we'll partner with him to get you what you need to help you tap into your money mindset.